It was meant to be an uncomplicated evening. My boss, Mr. Collins, was coming over for dinner with his wife, and I wanted the night to go flawlessly. This man held enormous sway over my career, so I spent the entire day setting the table, cooking, and fussing over every little detail until it was perfect. My husband, David, helped by choosing the wine and doing his best to keep me calm. When Mr. Collins walked in, he carried himself with the same smug self-assurance he always displayed at the office. His wife was kind and courteous, but he was the type who insisted on being the center of attention. At first, everything went smoothly enough. The wine was poured, the laughter felt forced, and the compliments about the food were shallow but passable. Then the tone began to change. David, ever the gracious soul, asked Mr. Collins about his most recent project. Instead of answering with any courtesy, Collins gave a smirk and said, "Well, it's not something you'd really understand. This is a different league than yours, isn't it?" The words cut through the room like venom. I froze. David's smile faltered, though he didn't lash out. Instead, he quietly set down his glass and replied, his voice even but firm, "You're right, I don't work in finance, but respect doesn't come with a paycheck." His tone was steady, but I saw the pain flicker in his eyes. Collins leaned back and laughed. "Respect? Respect is something you earn. In my world, if you don't make money, you don't matter." Then he turned his gaze on me, smirking, as if daring me to agree with him. My chest tightened. For years, I had endured his arrogance at work. But in my own home, while he belittled my husband, something inside me broke. I rose from my chair, my hands trembling but my voice steady. "Mr. Collins, you may be my boss at the office, but in this house, you're just a guest. And I won't allow you to insult my husband under this roof." His wife's eyes widened, and even David looked shocked. Collins chuckled at first, assuming I must be joking, but when I held his gaze without wavering, the smugness drained from his face. "You're overreacting," he muttered. "No," I said firmly. "I've listened to you treat people as if their worth comes from the size of their bank account. But not here. Not tonight. If you can't respect my husband, then you don't belong here." The silence that followed was suffocating, broken only by the sound of his wife nervously setting down her fork. Collins cleared his throat, mumbled something about an early meeting, and pushed back his chair. His wife cast me an apologetic glance before following him out the door. When it finally shut behind them, I turned to David. His eyes shimmered, not with hurt, but with pride. "You didn't have to do that," he whispered. "Yes, I did," I answered. "Because no job is worth more than you." From that night on, everything shifted. At work, Collins still carried his arrogance, but there was caution in it now, as though he finally realized I wasn't afraid to walk away. At home, David looked at me with a tenderness I hadn't seen in years. That was the night we both understood. Love, loyalty, and respect will always outweigh money and status. And deep down, I knew I hadn't only stood up for my husband. I had finally stood up for myself.